Welcome to the Fairy Garden series. On certain February mornings, when the frost lingers like lace and the garden holds its breath, something special begins to stir. Not in the roses, not in the ivy, not even beneath the bumblebee rest stop, but deeper. There is a story older than petals and sweeter than nectar, a story about a garden within the garden. A place where love does not grow from seeds, but from something far more surprising. And this year, Bella was about to discover its secret. Bella hovered just above the stone pavers, her golden wings flickering softly in the cool morning air. Valentine's Day was only a few sunrises away, and yet the garden felt quieter than usual. The bees buzzed, but not brightly. The wind moved, but without sparkle. She tilted her head. "Where is the heart glow?" she whispered. From behind a raised metal bed, a large brown paw pushed something across the grass. Boudreaux emerged proudly, dragging a giant cardboard heart he had found near the recycling bin. Rainier followed, tail swishing thoughtfully. "We plant it," Boudreaux declared. "Then hearts grow." Bella blinked. "Oh dear," she murmured. Bella drifted upward, remembering a story told long ago in fairy circles, a legend about the heart garden. "It blooms only when kindness takes root," the elder fairies had said. "It cannot be forced. It cannot be found by searching alone." She gazed across the garden beds, scanning for even the smallest shimmer of pink. Behind her, Boudreaux and Rainier had begun digging a deep hole near Olivia's journal rock. The cardboard heart folded awkwardly as they lowered it in. Rainier carefully patted the dirt down. They stepped back. They waited. Nothing happened. Boudreaux frowned. "Maybe it needs water." Bella covered a tiny smile. Rainier fetched the watering can. Boudreaux supervised. The soil turned muddy. The cardboard heart sagged and softened, edges curling into brown ripples. Still no bloom. Bella landed gently atop the wooden archway and scanned the garden again. If the heart garden was real, why wasn't it glowing? Across the yard, Olivia stepped outside with a small bundle tucked behind her back. She moved quietly, as if carrying a secret. Bella felt the faintest tingle in the air. Behind the raised beds, the dogs now buried something else, a stash of heart-shaped dog biscuits. "Now," Boudreaux said confidently, "now they grow." Bella's wings shimmered with curiosity. Something was beginning. Olivia knelt beside the lavender bush and placed a tiny handmade note at its base. "Thank you for helping the bees," she whispered softly. The paper fluttered in the breeze. Bella felt it then, not loud, not bright, but gentle. A shimmer beneath the soil. Just one faint glow. At the edge of the clover patch, a tiny leaf unfurled, its shape almost perfectly curved like a heart. Bella gasped quietly. Behind her, Boudreaux and Rainier watched the muddy biscuit patch expectantly. Instead of flowers, a single ant climbed proudly onto the mound. Rainier tilted his head. Boudreaux blinked. Bella smiled. The heart garden, she realized, was waking up. Bella drifted low over the clover patch, her wings humming softly. The tiny heart-shaped leaf from yesterday had grown, and now two more curved beside it like little green echoes. Each one shimmered faintly in the morning light. She traced their glow with her fingertip. It felt warm, not fiery, not dazzling, just steady, like a quiet thank you. Across the garden, Olivia gently moved a fallen flower back into a pot that had tipped in the wind. She brushed soil from the leaves and whispered, "You're still beautiful." Another flicker sparked beneath the clover. Behind the raised bed, Boudreaux dug up one soggy biscuit. It had not bloomed. Rainier stared at it thoughtfully. "Maybe," Rainier suggested. "We plant it upside down." Bella covered a laugh. The air began to feel lighter. Olivia carried a small jar of water and refilled the shallow dish near the lavender bush, the one the bees visited every afternoon. She placed a pebble inside so they wouldn't slip. Bella felt the shimmer again, stronger this time. Along the edge of the stone pavers, faint outlines began to trace themselves in soft pink light. They were not flowers yet, not fully, but they were forming. Behind the journal rock, the dogs had moved to phase 2. This time, they buried 3 fresh heart-shaped biscuits in a neat row. Boudreaux sat proudly beside them. Rainier placed a paw gently on the soil. They waited. Bella tilted her head. They were planting something after all. By midday, the sun warmed the garden beds, and something unexpected began to stir. Not from the clover, but from the biscuit patch. Tiny ants emerged, marching in an organized line. They carried crumbs, weaving carefully between blades of grass. Boudreaux watched in amazement. "They are helping," he whispered. Rainier wagged slowly. The ants formed small tunnels, creating delicate arches of soil. Bella landed on the wooden archway and observed quietly. Nearby, Olivia helped her mom carry a basket inside, even though she wanted to stay and play. She didn't sigh. She just smiled. At the edge of the pavers, one of the pink outlines brightened, now unmistakably heart-shaped. Bella's wings shimmered brighter. The heart garden was growing, just not where anyone expected. That evening, as the sky softened into peach and gold, Bella rose higher above the yard. From above, she could see it clearly now. The glowing shapes along the pavers were forming a pattern, not random, not scattered. They traced a winding path. Each heart marked a place where kindness had touched the garden, the lavender bush, the water dish, the clover patch, the spot near the compost where Olivia had rescued a worm. Behind the raised beds, Boudreaux and Rainier sat proudly beside their ant-covered mound. Rainier leaned gently against Boudreaux. Bella smiled. Perhaps they had planted something after all. Not biscuits, but patience. And the heart garden was only just beginning to bloom. The next morning, the air shimmered even before Bella woke. She fluttered toward the stone path and gasped softly. More hearts had appeared, faint pink blossoms tucked between the pavers, glowing gently like lanterns turned low. Olivia was kneeling beside the compost bed, her hands muddy. A small worm had wriggled into the sun, and she carefully scooped it back into cool soil. "There you go," she said kindly. "You're important too." A brighter pulse rippled outward. Behind the raised beds, Rainier noticed. He looked from the glowing pavers to Olivia, to the biscuit mound. Slowly, his ears lifted. Boudreaux squinted at the sparkles. "Did the worms plant those?" he whispered. Bella smiled. Something braver than petals was blooming now. By afternoon, the glowing hearts formed a clearer trail, weaving past the lavender bush, circling the journal rock, and curving toward the wooden arch. Bella rose higher, seeing the pattern widen like a soft constellation scattered across the grass. Below, Rainier did something unexpected. A butterfly fluttered near his nose. Instead of snapping or chasing, he stilled, perfectly still. The butterfly rested there for a moment before drifting away. A tiny spark lit near his paw. Boudreaux blinked. Rainier looked down at the glow, then toward Olivia, who was helping carry a small basket inside without being asked. Rainier's tail wagged slowly. "Maybe," he said thoughtfully, "we are planting the wrong thing." Bella's wings shimmered in approval. As evening settled in gold and rose tones, Bella felt something stir within her too. The heart garden was not only responding to Olivia, it was responding to anyone who chose kindness. She drifted toward Bella's satchel, where a small paintbrush had fallen unnoticed. Bella lifted it gently and placed it back inside, adding a faint shimmer of encouragement around the flap. "Keep creating," she whispered. At once, a new blossom flared, larger than the others, glowing with warm pink light near the bumblebee rest stop. Boudreaux saw it first. His eyes widened. Rainier looked from Bella's glow to the blooming heart. They sat very still. The ants continued their quiet building nearby. The garden felt different now, fuller, alive. When twilight deepened and the first stars began to appear, Bella rose into the dusky sky once more, and this time there was no mistaking it. The glowing hearts no longer formed scattered shapes. They formed a garden, a hidden garden woven between the visible one, blooming wherever kindness had taken root. Pink and soft gold blossoms shimmered along the path. Clover patches sparkled. Even the ant mound glowed faintly, as if lit from within. Rainier leaned gently against Boudreaux. Boudreaux looked at the last unplanted biscuit beside him. He nudged it aside. Instead, he padded quietly to Olivia and rested his head against her knee. A small heart bloomed at his feet. Bella's wings glowed brighter than ever. The secret was no longer a mystery. It was growing everywhere. The stars shimmered above, but they were not the brightest lights in the yard. The heart garden had awakened completely. Soft pink blossoms curved between the stone pavers like lanterns. Clover leaves glittered with dew shaped like tiny hearts. Even the lavender bush shimmered with a gentle golden outline. Olivia stepped outside once more, drawn by something she could not quite name. She paused. The air felt warmer, lighter. She smiled without knowing why. Behind her, Rainier trotted forward and gently nudged her hand. Boudreaux bounded ahead, circling joyfully around the glowing path, careful now not to disturb it. A new bloom sparked where Olivia laughed. Bella rose into the twilight, her wings scattering golden glitter like celebratory confetti. The heart garden wasn't hidden anymore. It was dancing. As the evening deepened, the glowing hearts shimmered brighter, weaving through the raised beds and curling beneath the wooden arch like a ribbon of light. The ants continued their careful building. The bees hummed softly in their lavender dreams. The dogs sat proudly beside Olivia, their tails thumping in happy rhythm. Boudreaux glanced once at the forgotten biscuit pile, then looked back at the blooming garden. "No digging," he declared wisely. Rainier nodded. Bella hovered high above, radiant and joyful. The secret of the heart garden was no longer a mystery. Love did not need to be planted in paper or buried in soil. It only needed to be given. And wherever it was shared, in a whisper, a helping hand, a gentle nudge, the garden would always bloom again, brighter, bolder, and full of heart.